Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to a new small compact 2-speed clone machine from Eachine. This is a Reddevil. It's nothing else than a 105mm machine with some 1102 compact brushless motor. In terms of electronic, we have the classic crazy board in the version 2.1 with some 5A 4-in-1 ESC solution, this SHOT 600 compatible. So let's discover this little transportation bag come with and have a first glance for this new 3S compact FPV racer. Okay, so everything is well protected within the dedicated foam. So we have the quadcopter. We'll have a look in a few instants. Small compact 300 3S LE HV battery ending with XT60 connector, and if you want some information characteristic, the weight is about 26.1 gram, and if you need exact replacement compatible, so in terms of size we have something about 60 millimeters or 6 centimeters by something little bit by 19 by and 12 1150. Okay, so 3S, the discharge rate is about not mentioned here, or I can read very well, but about yes, about up to 80C. Okay, in the best situation, but between 40C to 80C, so not so bad for high throttle input. In terms of accessories, we have more or less the minimum, and let's discover that. We have two red zip ties to lock and to protect a little bit your antenna, I guess. An instruction manual printed in color by Eachine as usual. It's in general very well done, compact. You have all the information. The characteristic of the Crazy Bee 2.1, so it's not the last one. The last one, the 3.0, supports a new generation of MOSFET up to 10 ampere, so no problem in 3S. Here with 5 ampere, with a peak of 6, I'm a little bit afraid about the durability of the MOSFET, especially with high throttle input. What is very nice with with the version 2.1 or above, we have a built-in FireSky or FlySky receiver working in SPA connection. It means that we have an easy binding procedure, no need to disassemble and to press the tiny bind button on the front right. You still can, but it's better to use the CLI command in Betaflight. It's much more easy. So just go to the CLI tab and press and type the bind command, and voila. Just a remark, now by default with the FireSky version, the default protocol is the D8 mode, so only 8 channel. Who cares? With 8 channel we have enough, and this one is known with this SPI connection to have less dropout and connection problems. So I think it's the best situation in terms of default settings. What we have also, we have a smart audio compatible video transmitter. By default we are running in 200 milliwatts, but when you are not harmed, it's only 25 in pit stop mode. So that's great. We have an OSD and some small light behind, so a lot of accessories, and everything is pretty well configured out of the box. It comes with Betaflight 4.0.0. You have to know that you cannot use the last Betaflight configurator. I'm using the old-fashioned web Chrome application based and working well. If you want to use the last one, you will need to flash the last Betaflight firmware. So let's finish with the accessories. We have 8 65mm props. If we have 8, I guess since we don't have any Duke system, you'll be able to break them very easily. We have a screwdriver, some 2 very small M1 nylon nuts, some very small screws, 4 of them, and we have a prop remover wrench tool and a small Velcro band to attach to secure completely the battery installation. So, for example, the battery installation, we have this TPU printed. Okay, so I don't know about the durability, where you will have to insert laterally your 3S light LEHV battery, so you have to slide it gently, slide inside, so okay, be gentle with, and no problem to attach the XT30 connector. Just remark, we have a small condensator on the extremity of it to filter out any or more motor or interferences for the video transmitter. That's good. Another remark, if you want to change manually the video transmitter settings, you will have to remove the top canopy. Fortunately, it's supporting smart audio, so no more need that. It's much more easier to change your video transmitter frequency, band, output power from the OSD thanks to the smart audio compatibility. In terms of motor, we have some 1102. If I'm not wrong, it's about 8700 kV, so maximum of 3S, and the structure, it's a two-speak structure with a thickness of the street key carbon about 2 mm. Let's check that. Yes, 2 mm, a little bit flexible, as you can see. So let's now start with, in my first glance, the disadvantage or the potential problem come with. First of all, the flexibility of the arms. The props seems to be very flexible, so we have to be sure that they are very well balanced. They are weighing about 0.6 gram individually, so one caution for the right balancing of the props, flexibility of the arm. And it's coming with the Cadex EOS 2 camera with a 1200 TVR, but this one is known to offer some jellos, so combined together, the props flexibility, the arms flexibility, and the EOS sensitivity to jello, I'm afraid this machine will be full of jello, or at least it will be very luckily if we don't observe any jello. So one classic trick will be to insert front a piece of foam absorbing part of the jello, and I guess we need to investigate how to have a good props replacement. In terms of hub, I think it's about 1 mm, so no screws. Okay, so just push them inside the metal shaft. So let's pour on the machine to check the default light. Don't expect a lot of light, but minimum. Okay, the AC music, look that in the rear side. Well, we have basic LEDs, nothing very special. Even if by default the LEDs lights are enabled, so probably on the rear you can see the flashing red ones, sorry. So very basic. Okay, it's a two-speak, don't expect too much. We have to pay caution how to install the battery lead connector to not be in contact with the props. Could be a problematic mid-flight. But in terms of weights, let's give the total weight of this machine. Sounds not so bad. We have something about 64 gram with everything, so even a little bit less, so not so bad for a 3S machine. Of course, you can gain some little weight by running this machine into S, but I guess this is our sporty FPV flyers. For the video transmitter, 200 milliwatts with this 5.8 GHz linear 5 antennas attached with the micro FL connector, and the FierceSky one, I don't see it, but should be around, so maybe hidden. So maybe I raise another caution about the range, the control range of the built-in SPI FierceSky receiver. We have to probably install a little bit better vertically, at least the default antenna. So we have to look it at, and probably we need to remove the top canopy to access to this antenna. Have a look to the video transmitter button. Should be not so far. Yes, should be on the front. But as I said previously, you will need first to remove the top canopy. So it's time to go in Betaflight and to check the default configuration and probably optimize a little bit the situation. Okay, so let's connect to Betaflight. So this is a pretty well old version, Chrome application one. So let's start to have a CLI version. So it comes with the Betaflight com 00. So the last one is a 05. It's up to you if you want to flash with the last version, or you can keep this one. It's maybe a good idea, and I strongly advise each time to dump your last the default factory settings. In case of mistake, you can restore them. So copy and paste everything into a blank text file, and if you did a mistake, okay, you will be able to restore by pasting this information from this file into the CLI, and don't forget to end by after pasting to with the save command to restore and reboot the flight control board. So let's have a look to the setup. So reconnect. Okay, so in terms of port, we have only the USB VCP turned on. Since we have an SPI based receiver, no extra UART used. For the configuration, maybe have a look to the forget. So the UART one, we have the smart audio. Okay, very important. So if you need to restore the settings, don't forget to for the UART one to apply the smart audio. For the configuration, we have prop in settings, default settings. It's up to you if you prefer prop out or props in, but here is prop in. D-Shock system we did selected by default is great. 8 kilo for both the frequency and the PID main loop. No extra board alignments, no accelerometers. We have the default craft name for the OSD Reddevil. We have the selected SPI receiver, and more particularly, we have the FSky D for the D8 mode, so only 8 channel, but at least with low latency, 11 milliseconds, so it's not so bad. In terms of features, 2 of them only are turned on: the LED strip with the basic red light as shown, and of course the OSD is very important. For example, if you want to tune your video transmitter thanks to the smart audio. Let's continue. Power and battery. We have the default, fail-safe, and PID tuning. Okay, let's have a look. Since we have the default Betaflight settings, so with a very strong pitch value, and not also very strong for the pitch and roll. So it's not my favorite. What I will do first, I will show you how to bind. So as I said in the previous command, so you have to press the bind command here. Okay, turn on your radio. I will show you the default model I prepare with my jumper video. Okay, be sure to select the FSky here, FSky, which equivalent to the FSky D. Prepare, be ready to be in bind. Okay, when it will be okay, just need to press the OK button. So I will now return in CLI, press the bind, it's entering binding, then press OK here. Okay, and we should be okay. Then press one more time OK, and the bird should flash, and when we go anything everywhere, the machine should reboot. Okay, and let's reconnect, and let's now up to the receiver, and look that now I've got the possibility to control the machine. Be aware, by default, if you have the jumper, the channel mapping is based on more on the Taranis radio, so starting with the throttle for the first channel. But if you have the jumper, please select more the this one, starting this FSky Futaba, so where the first channel are aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder, and so on. Blah blah blah. We can apply a deadband. Is always good to apply a deadband. Okay, and especially if you have the first jumper revision. Okay, blah blah blah, and let's save that. I want to show you that I have the first two auxiliary channels are 3-way position, and here I've got the for the dual rate. Okay, so you have to configure your jumper radio for the dual rate. Is always good. So let's continue with the mode. We have a basic one. we have an arming. Okay, so it's up to you how you want to arm. Personally, I will arm when I will be in upper position, like this for the Ox one, like this. I will save that. And for me, in terms of flight mode, I will use Horizon. Okay, for Ox 2, and acro will be in down position, so I will have the anti-gravity. Okay, like this. And okay, like this. And okay, you can see that we have a beeper, since and air mode is also activated for the okay, like this. For the beeper, since we don't have a real physical beeper, rather, we have to play in terms of configuration with the beacon, like this. So we have to turn on and these two options. You can select one of the beep tone. Okay, we can save that. So after that, we have to reboot. We'll be able to use in terms of mode. We'll be able to use now the beeper and to associate it with your favorite toggle button. So I will use in yes, like this. It's not so bad. Okay, so it should ring. Okay, when the battery is of course plugged. Okay, don't expect miracle. So we are ready for the mode. Let's continue for the OSD. We have basic NTSC, so we can particularize it. We have the matrix, blah blah blah, and we have the RSSI, the main battery voltage, the crosshairs. That's great. The timer too. So when you are home, the flight mode, the craft name, I will disable it to save some little bit some uh, vision. And the throttle position, current draw, and mass sounds good. And I will change the font to something more larger. So I will use the clarity one. I like this one. Okay, and I will upload the font, and it will be larger. I prefer, since I'm losing my view, so it's always good. Everything sounds to be not so. Oh, I forgot to say previously. So luckily we don't have a lot of settings to restore. So everything looks good, and the last panel is the default LEDs. So what we have a throttle scanner lesson effect, okay, but no warnings, just a scanner lesson effect. That's all. So by default, the Betaflight is pretty well configured, just minor settings I have to optimize. So it's now time to go in the field to check that, and we are expecting to have some jellos, whatever. I will install a little piece of foam to be less the canopy, well, the camera. And I forgot to mention that this one can be up tilted, okay, like this, up to, whoa, 60 degrees. But I will insert a piece of foam there, and we will see if it will absorb a little bit the jello. And if not, we have to change the props. That's sounds the probably the best scenario to go. Okay, let's go to the field. Small conclusion about this Eachine Reddevil. First of all, wow, it's very powerful. I'm very surprised thanks to the ratio 3S versus 64 gram. It's probably one of the best combinations we can obtain. And it's flying beautifully. It's very powerful. You can climb 10 meters high in a fraction of a second, probably less than 1 second. So it's super powerful. So no real problem for any acro style, even with advanced acro style. It's plenty of power. The flight time are not bad at all. You can obtain something about 4 minutes with this 300 mAh LiPo battery. I would expect something less, but it's not so bad. It's crash resistance. I'm positively surprised as well. I crashed many times, but I would say, as you can see right now, even with my piece of foam, where on the first video footage it almost killed the jello, but after multiple crashes, I don't know if the props are little by little damaged, or if the shaft of the motor are a little bit bent after multiple crash, but you can hear also that the sound of the machine start to be different versus time after crashes. But this machine, after a couple of crash, become very full of jello. That's really a problem. So despite the piece of foam inserted here, it's not inflatable, but it's very annoying. So maybe the props are damaged and need to be replaced. That's probably one of the first mode I will advise if you plan to buy this machine. Can I recommend it? If you order in the same time some different props, 65 millimeters long, less flexible, I would say, I recommend this machine. I enjoy this powerful machine and plenty of power. Really, I like it. In terms of video transmission range, is not so bad. The FPV link also is great. The OS2 camera is full of color in terms of rendition, even if it's bringing also some jellos, unfortunately. So yes, I can recommend this machine. It's not probably the best to speak in the market. The first original one is probably a little bit better, but for a clone, much cheaper, is not so bad at all. So if you like this new video, please submit, and see you next time. Bye bye.